Hi there, my name is Jim, and I'm the co-founder of xFusion. Thank you, first of all, for watching this video. Try to keep it as organized as possible. Since the very beginning of xFusion, I've been a fan of an asynchronous sales process as a client, and I've always been excited to build one, so that's exactly the motivation and inspiration to do this. So I hope you enjoy it. Certainly, if you want to just go straight to having a conversation with me, I'm absolutely open to that. But I just wanted to build something that I thought you might enjoy. So quick background on me, and I'll give you more details a little bit later into the video. But I'm a SaaS founder. I've made an acquisition. I've sold to SaaS, made an acquisition. I'm currently building two SaaS products right now. And then I'm also the founder of xFusion, which is what I'll be mostly talking about here, but just wanted to share that I have a lot of experience in SaaS and can most certainly relate to building bootstrap SaaS specifically. Okay, so let me break down what we're going to cover in this video. So this is just a high-level overview of what you can expect. There will be chapter outlines, so if you want to jump ahead to any specific section, feel free to do that. I think it'll make the most sense if you watch the whole thing, but by all means, you can skip ahead to different sections. So we're first going to talk about the problem, then the consequences, the solution, our experience and credibility, the results that we deliver for our clients, details of our services, why act, next steps, and then a very detailed FAQ section. And I already talked about the kind of choose your own adventure. I'm going to record this in just one take, so I'd much rather spend time working with our clients and growing our business than offering high production value. So I'm just going to do this in one take and go straight through. Okay, so section 1, the hidden growth barrier. So 1.1, operational burden. So you're facing a daily avalanche of support tickets and customer inquiries. And by the way, so on some of these points, I'll just read the bullet point. Others I will go into more detail. So it just kind of depends on which one. Next step or next point is operational tasks are consuming 70 to 80% of your productivity time or your productive time. Back office admin is pulling your focus from strategic growth. Your customer support is becoming increasingly complex as your product evolves. And then manual processes are creating bottlenecks across your business. And then the 1.2 is the founder's dilemma. So you're trapped between building your product and running your business. You can't focus on your vision and innovation due to operational demands. You're focused to choose between growth initiatives and maintaining quality. Knowledge silos are creating dangerous dependencies on you. You're facing hiring challenges. It's too early for full-time roles, but freelancers lack consistency. So I first want to share that I relate with this plight. This is what I felt in 2017, growing my first SaaS before we sold it, and I completely understand. In my experience in private equity is buying and selling businesses, working with tons of founders, as we do now, that have this exact struggle. So I can relate on a personal level and also just an experiential level as well. And then we have the AI integration challenge. So this is the proliferation of AI tools is creating management overhead for you. You have fragmented AI implementations, working in silos and not as unified systems. You may be dealing with technical complexity of effective AI implementation, data quality and integration problems are limiting your AI effectiveness, and you lack the time to orchestrate multiple AI tools strategically. The emotional cost, you may be experiencing burnout from constant firefighting and context switching, suffering from decision fatigue from handling hundreds of micro decisions daily, and feeling anxiety about missed growth opportunities and strategic blind spots, and stressed about knowing that your business can't scale without better operations, and feeling guilty about neglecting product innovation while handling operations. All right, so let's go into section 2, which is where this road leads. Future business impact. So churn will increase as customer support quality deteriorates under pressure. Revenue will plateau when retention issues offset your acquisition efforts. Customer LTV will shrink as you miss upsell opportunities. Your product development will slow, creating a widening gap with competition. Your operational debt will accumulate, making future scaling exponentially harder. And you'll face the growth paradox, which is that success brings more customers, creating more operational burden. Personal consequences. So work-life balance becomes increasingly unstable. You'll experience an identity crisis, becoming an operator rather than a visionary. You'll face health impacts, sleep disruption, stress-related issues, cognitive fatigue, and your relationships will strain from always being mentally at work. You'll lose passion for the business as your creative energy depletes, and you'll suffer financial opportunity cost as your business value growth stagnates. And then there's competitive disadvantages, which includes customers with streamlined operations will execute faster. Market leaders will leverage AI integration for 10x operational efficiency. And I see this happening quickly. Like adoption is lagged, but it's really coming on board quite quickly. And then agile competitors will respond to market changes while you're buried in tasks. And the whole point is for us to help allow you to look up, to be able to cast a vision and execute on that vision versus being in the weeds. New entrants unencumbered by operational baggage will move faster than you. Customer expectations will be reset by competitors' superior support, and innovation gap will widen each month you spend on operations versus product. And then there's opportunity cost, which is you'll miss strategic partnerships while handling day-to-day operations. Your product innovation opportunities will be delayed or completely abandoned. Market timing windows will close while operational issues consume your attention. You'll miss customer insights that go unnoticed and unaddressed. Your team growth and culture development will be neglected, and you'll sacrifice personal growth and learning opportunities for urgent but low-value tasks. Okay, then let's get into the details of the solution. Actually, this is kind of the high level of the solution, and then we'll get into details in, I think it's section six. So this is what we call the AI Fusionist Model. So the TLDR overview is that we bring human generalist agents to run specialized AI agents. That's the idea, is human expertise that helps you scale using AI agents. So the idea is that we implement and manage AI agents that do different functions, including support in your business. So our core concept, what we call AI Fusionist, is, like I said, human agents who skillfully orchestrate specialized AI systems for you. We don't just use AI tools, but strategically integrate them for maximum impact on your business. So they're not just disparate; they're working together under our orchestration to get the best performance. And the whole point is leveraging humans. I remember watching the ChatGPT release, and I think it was like December 2022, and just having like a crisis moment because our entire business was built upon humans helping our clients. And after I feel like I dusted myself off a little bit, I realized that we can actually utilize humans to help our clients scale exponentially further than they could have before. And we're leveraging AI in a way that makes one human have the capability of 4, 5, 10, depending on the context that they did before. So that's the way that we're embracing it. We've perfected the function of human judgment with AI's efficiency and scalability. We'll move you beyond fragmented point solutions to unified operational approach, and our model fundamentally differs from virtual assistants and other outsourcing that you may have tried. I'm not aware of another company that does something this specific in the realm of SaaS. It may exist, but I'm just not aware of that. It's what I feel like is quite a unique model that we've created to serve our SaaS clients. And we'll go into a lot more detail in section 6, as I mentioned. Okay, so 3.2, the human AI partnership. So explain why neither AI alone nor humans alone solve operational challenges. And we maintain the critical human elements you need. So this is judgment, empathy, and strategic thinking. And we harness AI for you, consistency, scalability, and pattern recognition. And our team brings specialized expertise in AI orchestration to your business. And this is mostly via our account managers' leadership. So they are well-trained and well-experienced in the integration of AI tools and helping our clients scale using those. And they oversee your account. And again, more on that later. So we provide training and oversight systems to ensure quality is there without your involvement. And we create the right balance using AI for what it does best and humans for what they do best. All right, the complete operational solution. We deliver end-to-end operational coverage for you, not just individual tasks. We recognize the interconnected nature of your customer support, success, and back office functions, and we eliminate the fragmented solutions that create more management overhead for you. So our all-in solution delivers exponentially better results for your business, and we create a foundation that scales predictably with your growth, which gives you a strategic advantage, which includes helping you reclaim 15 to 20 hours per week for strategic thinking. Honestly, that can be more or less depending on your specific situation. But the whole point is to help you get back to doing what you do best and what only you can do on the business versus being stuck in the minutia. I say this a lot to my team, but I feel like that now more than ever, it's critically important to have discernment and good judgment to decide what wall we're leaning our ladder against. Because if we're busily climbing the ladder that's leaned against the wrong wall, then we're not making any actual forward momentum. So the point is for us to help you get into the weeds and and solve your operational challenges so you can look up and lean your ladder against the right wall so you know that you're heading in the right direction. So we'll give you a competitive edge through operational excellence, move you from reactive to proactive across all customer touch points, and you'll experience the compound effect, which is small operational improvements creating massive outcomes. We'll help you break through growth plateaus that operational limitations create, and will position your business for maximum valuation through operational maturity. And that's a hugely important point. When I worked in private equity, I saw over and over how many times that businesses, SaaS businesses specifically, got docked in their valuations because of inefficient operations and over-reliance on the founder. It's a major issue. Okay, section 4, experience and credibility. So my founder's journey. As I mentioned before, I got into the SaaS world in like 2015, sold my first SaaS in 2017. And funnily enough, the brokerage that bought it actually hired me to run operations for that business, and then hired me to run operations for their PE fund that they had spun out, making SaaS acquisitions. So I ran another business called MageMail a number of years ago, and then multiple other SaaS businesses, including the one that I sold. And that's actually what led to me meeting my co-founder, David, who's a former senior engineer at Uber. He had bought some of the businesses that we were selling in the fund and hired me as a consultant to build out his support and operations team, which I did. And then we had the idea of launching xFusion, which I think I get into. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. More about that in a second. I did the PE firm for a while, working with tons of different founders, buying and selling businesses. And like I mentioned before, I experienced the same operational challenges that may limit your growth. And I had I'll tell you, the moment that I decided to create xFusion, we were working with a couple other outsourced providers doing customer support for our SaaS apps. And I started to build a relationship with some of these team members, and I realized that they were severely underpaid. They were paid not even a living wage. They had to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet, often having a really long commute on both sides of the day. And they also worked on a per response based model, which means that they were overly stretched and stressed and trying to answer tickets in multiple different inboxes for different clients. It was just a horrible model. And I just felt a real sense of tenderness towards them and sadness for the situation they were in. And I also saw a business opportunity to deliver much better results for our clients through having a focused model, fully dedicated model, actually paying our team, more than a living wage, where they have one job. And that was the start of it. And we started off in spring of 2020, serving SaaS clients. We started in the Shopify space, but then expanded from there, bootstrapped and funded SaaS founders. And we have ridiculously low attrition, which really leads to high loyalty for our clients. Our team really enjoys working at xFusion. We have great relationships with them. We have about 72, as of this recording, 72 team members. And I'm recording this in spring of 2025. We've gotten to visit them in Kenya and the Philippines, which is predominantly where we hire from. And on that note, and I think this may come up later, but I have just been absolutely impressed at the level of competence and ability in Kenya and the Philippines specifically. They just do excellent work and have a lot of pride in the work they do. Whereas in America, customer support roles are jobs versus careers, and the difference is incredible. So I've worked with a ton of different SaaS businesses since then. So I have this unique opportunity to look under the hood and see what works and what doesn't across multiple different SaaS businesses, not only my own, but our clients at xFusion. Of course, I don't share anything proprietary, but I get to see patterns of what works and what doesn't. And then my experience working with SaaS businesses and the private equity fund as well just gave me a lot of insights. I think I mentioned I'm currently growing 2 SaaS products. One is in the conversion rate optimization space called GrooveJar, and then the other one is a new one that we're launching called TraitX, and it basically uses ChatGPT via API to help with vetting for preschool directors. And it's because my wife is in that space or knows that space very well, so we're building a SaaS product for that space, starting with the community. So super excited about that as well. xFusion's evolution. So our company originated solving the exact customer support challenges you face. We initially focused on human excellence, building specialized talent. And that was hard. We had a core group of people, our very first team member is still with us today. His name is Daniel. He's in Kenya. And we said, after he had been with us a while, Daniel, do you know any friends, any previous colleagues that you worked with that would like to have a job as well? He's like, yeah. And so we built up a core group of talent. And then our talent went downhill for a while, for maybe 6 months, because we ran out of referrals. And we had not yet built out a sort of a talent recruitment pipeline and vetting system. So we worked a whole year back in like 2021, mid to late 2021, and really perfected this process. So we have a ridiculously extensive recruiting and vetting process that has allowed us to find really, really great people. And it's definitely one of our special sauces is finding incredibly talented people, which we're really proud of. It was a difficult thing to build, but we're proud of the results. And then we've, over the last couple of years, transitioned to integrating AI capabilities paired with human expertise. So this is in the support context, but other contexts as well, which I'll share more about. So key milestones. I mean, we kicked off, like I said, in spring of 2020. We're at about 72 now. We've grown fairly steadily. A lot of our growth came early, and then it's just been more steady since then. And yeah, I think I've already explained why our team in Kenya and the Philippines creates a unique advantage. So I won't belabor that. So our model evolved to serve SaaS founders. Like that's where we started, and that's where we further evolved to specialize in is serving SaaS founders like you. All right, so we developed deep specialization in SaaS operations versus general VA services. So we understand all the key SaaS metrics, levers that matter to your business. We've worked with 41 different SaaS businesses across the different segments, and that's just with xFusion, not counting all the private equity stuff. We know it drives valuations in SaaS companies. I mentioned this briefly, but there's just a lot that goes into increasing valuation, and a lot of it does fall onto over-reliance on the founder, lack of mature systems and processes. Basically, it makes it a less sellable business, and therefore you would generate a lower multiple. So we gathered tons of insights working with bootstrapped and funded companies. We have probably like a 70-30 split, mostly bootstrap, but some funded founders, including some that have multiple millions in funding. So we've done both. And then we possess specialized knowledge of SaaS tools, platforms, and integration points. So we've just had a lot of experience working with that. Like I mentioned, around 70 plus team members, super thorough selection process, less than 1% acceptance rate. And we provide specialized training in SaaS operations and AI orchestration, maintain a management structure, ensuring consistent quality in your business. And you'll have an account manager specifically assigned to you that has experience working with SaaS clients and implementing these tools. We have a system of continuous improvement, knowledge sharing systems, and have a culture of ownership versus traditional outsourcing mindset. I can't emphasize that enough. It's one of the keys to keeping our attrition really, really low, which has kept our loyalty towards clients high. I mean, we have clients that have been with us since the very beginning, April, May 2020, that are still with us with the same team members 5 years now. So it's incredible. And it's created this culture that we're really proud of, and a place that people enjoy working at. Okay, so some of our results. So, and by the way, you can find these case studies if you go to our website. I think it's under the resources tab. You can read all the details. This is just a summary of the case studies. Derek was, he came on board with us in May 2021. Some of you may be familiar with Derek. Amazing guy, founder of SavvyCal. He formerly founded Drip with Rob Walling, who's the founder of Microcomp. So amazing gentleman. Really enjoy working with him, and appreciate our relationship. We actually got to meet each other in person the first time. Was it 2 years ago, I think? That was fun. Anyway, so we've worked to transform their support approach and have an 84% reduction in first response time, enhance their knowledge base, and implemented systematic improvements. He actually endorsed us on his podcast a couple times. And then he sent us referrals too, which I certainly appreciate. And then we transitioned them from reactive to proactive customer success, and made a measurable impact on this business. Revi, one of our early clients, Marcelo is a solo founder based in Brazil, has a really successful suite of Shopify apps. So we started working together in 2020, and you can see that he faced some challenges with like language barrier challenges that affected his customer satisfaction scores. We helped improve his Shopify rankings, and then specifically implemented an approach to collect more 5-star reviews. So this is something that we've curated that really, really works well, and it is in adherence to the Shopify TOS in terms of asking for reviews. And that's been really, really helpful for Revy and for a number of our clients, but especially Revy and Tolstoy, which I'll tell you about in a second. Yeah, just a quote there from Marcelo. I won't just read every detail here. Skyfi is another client that we work with to cover 24/7. So just some insight into, that we can cover 24/7, 365. We do technical support for them. They're a satellite imaging company. So 91% plus satisfaction rating, reduce our response time, etc. So, and then Tolstoy is our quickest growing client. They're a funded SaaS startup out of Israel. I think we have, maybe 12 to 14 team members on that account. So it's our largest as well. They have a really cool video commerce platform. They are just growing super rapidly. We actually help them with engineers as well. So we do support, success, back office, and engineering, recruitment, and management for them as well. So that's something we've been fortunate enough to offer. They're a really great partner with us or for us. Performance metrics. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here. Our average CSAT score across all clients is consistently above 90%. And our average first response time improvements have been a 70+% reduction from the existing state when we started. We've achieved a significant churn reduction impact across our client base, and we've driven App Store rating improvements across our clients with specific method and timing for asking for reviews, as I mentioned earlier. And we generally reclaim our founders 15 to 20 hours per week. That's the goal, plus or minus that number. Okay, so let's get into the details of exactly what we offer. So customer support suite. So we'll create, this is just a list of all the things we do in these different categories. So it includes creating an AI-enhanced knowledge base and continuously improving it, dynamically updating your documentation based on customer interactions, optimizing your help desk software. We're agnostic on that, so whatever you want to use. I'm personally a fan of Help Scout, but there are many great ones, and we've used almost all of them. So we will help you optimize that according to best practices. We implement an AI agent resolving 60+% of support tickets. So whether you use Intercom Fin or you use Helply or some other tool or the built-in tool, Zendesk, for example, we can integrate and set that up and mature it and get it better and better. The whole point is, like Tim Ferriss says, we don't want to add people to an inefficient system. We want to help you make the system as efficient as possible, and then add the minimum number of people instead of the maximum. That's the idea. So we'll manage complex escalations across your channels. So the idea is that we will communicate on behalf of you as the developer or your developers. So let's say that there's a customer issue. We'll try to replicate that. We'll create a video or written feedback for your engineer, set up a Jira ticket if that's the platform you use, and then handle the communication with the client so the engineer doesn't have to do that. They can do their stretchy brain engineering stuff, and we will handle the customer communication so they can stay focused. We can provide email, social, and live chat support, including pre-sales live chat. And that's something I like to emphasize because it's low-hanging fruit to not have pre-sales live chat available for your prospective users. So we can handle those conversations. And also phone support, if that's something that you want to provide to your users. We would have a chat about that, asynchronous or synchronously, about if that's something that you want to offer. If you do, we can hire someone that can handle that as well. And then both technical and non-technical inquiries. And again, we would hire based on your needs. And they'll create a support performance dashboard with actionable insights for you. Customer success. So we'll implement deep customer relationship management with a tiered approach. Use data-driven methods to nurture your customer relationships. We'll execute proactive upselling and cross-selling strategies and provide concierge new customer onboarding synchronously or asynchronously. So this is, I know with GrooveJar back in the day, I used to make a 2-minute Loom video for our new clients. And I would say like, hey, George, thank you for signing on. Jim, founder of GrooveJar, super excited to be working with you on this. I've set up things according to best practices. All you have to do is turn it on, whatever. And man, our adoption went way, way, way up because of that. So that's something that we can do. Or obviously synchronous is like, let's literally get on a call. And we would just chat on if that's a need that you have, and we'd hire accordingly. and then proactively intervene with your at-risk customers, and then analyze product usage and make enhancement recommendations to you and your team, your engineering team. Okay, AI-enabled back office. So handle data processing and analysis driven by AI, conduct comprehensive AI-driven research for your specific decisions, manage and optimize your back office tasks. I'd like to say this is anything that you or your team is doing that's not the highest and best use of your time that we can help with. That can be a lot of different things, that trainable, repeatable tasks that we can help with and take off your plate. My encouragement to you is to think about what is your highest and best use of time, and what are all the things we can help you solve one thing at a time to get you back to casting vision and lifting your head up and thinking big picture. Okay, we'll provide administrative support for your non-core business functions. We'll process and organize your documents, perform competitive analysis and market research, and document processes and make improvement recommendations. And then marketing. So this is another cool thing that we offer our clients. We'll help you develop an ultra detailed ICP document for your business. Ours is like 52 pages long. It's incredibly detailed, and we use a custom GPT to help build that out. And we can help you create the custom GPT with foundational context documents. We would need your help to create some of those context documents. Others we have templatized that we can use. But the TLDR is we can build out a custom GPT or a project in Claude that the team can then use to execute on various marketing tasks. So it could be social media, content in your brand voice. I built a LinkedIn posting GPT based on training that I paid for and ingested into the LLM. That's pretty effective. So we'll engage strategically on social media on your behalf if you want. Like, obviously, this is context dependent. This could be for the brand. It could be for your personal. We can do drafts that you approve. This is a crawl, walk, run approach, and it's highly dependent on what your preferences are. These are just things we can do, not that we certainly have to do. We'll participate in relevant forums to enhance your visibility, and we'll handle blog post ideation, creation, and distribution, and manage your content organization and publishing workflow. I want you to think of this too, like, a lot of our availability, team member availability, depends on the volume of support and how efficient we can be there. So let's say that they're using 60% of their time on customer support, maybe customer success tasks as well, and they have 40% available time to help implement these other things that I'm sharing here, including like pre-sales live chat and marketing automation, all of these things, so that they're maximally productive and properly leveraged with AI. Okay, product feedback loop. We'll continuously capture user feedback across all your channels. We'll analyze and categorize feedback. We'll prioritize feature requests based on impact potential for your business, identify and report product usage patterns, create actionable feedback summaries for your dev team, and help connect customer feedback to your product roadmap. Team and talent management. So we'll handle all recruiting, vetting, and hiring of support personnel. It's, AI Fusion. It's more than just support, but anybody that we hire will handle all of that, as I mentioned earlier. We'll provide team leadership and performance management. We build culture and team engagement. This is something that's very important to us. Our team recently, our Philippines team went to Disney Hong Kong, and our Kenya team went to the coast, Diani, and had an amazing time on the beautiful beaches there. So they meet several times a year. They have really fun outings, and just serves to keep the culture really strong. We'll conduct ongoing training and skill development, ensure quality assurance and monitor performance, manage capacity planning and scaling as you grow. We'll document processes and transfer knowledge, and train new team members to ensure consistent coverage. And 6.7, revenue protection and enhancement. So we'll implement personalized dunning to recapture lost revenue. I know automated dunning is like, table stakes, but we can actually do personalized dunning for whatever the automated dunning doesn't catch. Reaching out to them on social. There's different ways that we can get a hold of them to help to improve the capture rate there. Use systematic approach to earn more 5-star reviews, as I talked about earlier. Conduct product demos for your prospective customers. So this is, synchronous or asynchronous. Help identify expansion revenue opportunities. Provide pricing and packaging feedback based on customer insight data. And develop churn analysis and prevention strategies. All right, so outcome and results. You'll reclaim time for strategic priorities. Your customer experience metrics will dramatically improve. Your operations will scale without proportional cost scaling. Your product perception will improve through superior support. You'll reduce churn and increase customer LTV. You'll build systematic knowledge capture and operational resilience, and you'll see clear, measurable ROI across multiple business dimensions, and you'll create a foundation for sustained growth and add to your exit value. Okay, reasons to act now. So we have limited capacity. We only onboard 2 new clients each month. We have an intensive, personalized onboarding process that just can't be rushed, certainly shouldn't be rushed. And we've recently seen increased demand due to our AI integration capabilities, which I'm super excited about. And then waiting means extending your operational pain unnecessarily. Basically, my encouragement is that if you think this makes sense, I encourage you to take the next step. We can talk asynchronously or synchronously and just see if it's a fit. I hope you can tell by now, but I'm not a pushy sales guy. Like, I come from an operational founder background, and it's not my goal to talk you into something. So that's not the idea here. But if you feel like it's right for you, I encourage you to take action. Okay, competitive timing advantage. Operational efficiency is becoming a key competitive differentiator in SaaS. You gain first mover advantage by implementing AI enhanced ops now. Your competitors are already beginning to implement similar strategies, as I mentioned earlier. And those who optimize operations now will outpace others in 6 to 12 months. That's pretty obvious. The pace of AI advancement and adoption is accelerating, also obvious. And you have the chance to catch the wave of operational innovation before it crests. Okay, operational relief timeline. So you'll experience immediate relief in the first 30 to 45 days. By 90 days, you'll achieve operational maturity and see measurable impact. You'll experience your first full night's sleep without operational anxiety and feel day-to-day progress as your systems take shape. And you'll begin experiencing emotional and practical benefits immediately. And by the way, a little bit lower, I talk about our onboarding process, our guarantee, our lack of an ongoing, contract with a certain timeline, et cetera. So let me share the details of that, because it's unique in the way we do that. Okay, so next steps, strategic session offer. So I'd like to offer you a free strategy session. I'll help you identify your specific operational bottlenecks. I believe the session alone will deliver value to you. Like I said before, I promise it's no obligation, no pressure approach. And let me talk for a second about, this is really important, our guarantee and aligned incentives. So David, my co-founder, and I are very much believers in aligned incentives in playing long-term games. So for that reason, we never engage with somebody. Like, I've told a lot of people no in sales conversations because I just didn't think that they were the right fit for us and we weren't the right fit for them. So I have absolutely no problem doing that. We're interested in building an enduring business, which I feel like we've done for the last 5 years, and we want that to continue in perpetuity. So on that end, we have a guarantee in place as well. And the idea is that we would work together for the first month. And at the end of that month, we'd have a conversation, probably asynchronously, and I check in and see how you're doing. And if you're not happy for whatever reason and want to walk, that's completely fine. You would owe us absolutely nothing for that first month. If you're happy and want to continue, we would ask for payment for that first month and then monthly thereafter. So the point is, you get an opportunity to allow us to build some trust over that first month to give us a shot without having the commitment to pay if you're not pleased with the results. Our whole focus is to make sure that we're adding value to you and that we're building that longer term relationship. And to that end, our agreement is very simple. It's month to month. So we have like a 30-day notice period if you want to leave. We don't hold you to any sort of ongoing contract, and that's actually very unusual in our space. And then also we don't ask for a deposit, which is also unusual. The whole point is we want to build trust by removing friction from the process. Okay, so as far as next steps, below there's a lengthy list of frequently asked questions. There will be chapters, markings for each of these, so you can just go to that specific question if you have it without having to watch all of them. So feel free to check those out. Then I'll have a link on the page below for the Aligned is actually one of our clients. They're a very quickly growing SaaS, also out of Israel, and they have a very cool like a sales deal room. And in that room, you'll find all of the details of what we offer. There's just lots of resources there. There's an example agreement that you can read. Now, obviously, this would not be specific to you, but it would just be general, but it'll look very much similar to that. So you can read the details of all of that, everything that we have in that room. So I encourage you to check that out. And then there's 2 options. So we can continue to communicate asynchronously. You can send me a message. You can send me a video with questions. I can respond accordingly. We can swap audio messages as well. I'm going to list my WhatsApp number so we can communicate via WhatsApp. I'll list my email as well. I really want to make this as easy as possible for you. I love an asynchronous process as a buyer, so I wanted to offer that to you. And then alternatively, if you'd prefer to just have a conversation, we can most definitely do that as well. So really whatever your preference is and how you would like to proceed. But I do encourage you to reach out with any questions or to book a call if you want to have a conversation. All right, so let's just jump right into the FAQs. All right. What days and hours does your support coverage operate? So we offer 24/7, 365 support. We just are very careful to set expectations with our team members. So if they're going to be working Monday through Friday, we don't suddenly ask them to work weekends. That's been a key part of our very low attrition, is to set very clear expectations from the beginning. Do you offer 24/7 support, or are there specific hours? We do. We just set those expectations in advance and let the team member know, and then that's what we hire for the hours that you need. Can you support different time zones? Which one? Yes, all time zones. Our team is used to working swings and nights, so that's no problem at all. About 50% or so of our clients are US based. Others are, all over the world. So we're comfortable offering any sort of time zone coverage. Do you offer weekend and holiday coverage? Yes, we set that expectation. So if you need someone literally on Christmas, we can do that. But we set the expectation when we hire the team member, like this is a role that requires you to work Christmas, and they can choose to accept it or not based on if it works for their life. So again, it goes back to setting those expectations so they know what they're getting into. How do you handle coverage during team absences or turnover? Yeah, this is an important one. So any sort of turnover, first of all, it's exceedingly rare. Like I could count on 3 fingers of one hand how many team members have left us voluntarily over 5 years. It happens very, very rarely, just because we provide a really great opportunity for them. But when it does, they've given us a heads up, and we're able to hire their replacement and provide training for their replacement as well, which is important. In the event that they leave abruptly, then we will get someone in place as soon as possible. The bottom line is we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you have the coverage that you need, and that we'll work with you to take care of that. We have an incentive to serve you very well, and we'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. All right, team talent and questions. Team and talent questions. Which countries do you hire team members from? So Kenya and the Philippines. I've mentioned it earlier in this recording, but we've had just phenomenal results with the work ethic and quality from team members in Kenya and the Philippines. And the cost of living is to the extent there that we can afford to pay them a very good salary in their area while keeping our cost to clients quite low as well. So it's the best balance for all of those factors. And as I mentioned before, in Kenya and the Philippines, these types of roles are careers, where in the US, they're jobs, and that makes a huge difference. All right, what is your vetting and hiring process for team members? So they go through an extensive vetting, recruiting, vetting, and hiring process. We have a 2-stage interview process. We have built custom software to vet them, and it's extensive, the process that they go through using that software and actual in-person interviews as well. So it's our priority to make sure we hire excellent people, and knock on wood, we've had phenomenal results through that process, and it's very rare that the team members don't work out splendidly well. How many people will be dedicated to my account? That just depends on your need. Our minimum is 1 full-time team member, but we can help you as you scale. So like the sky's the limit, but the minimum would be 1. And they're full-time dedicated on your account. They do not work across other accounts, so they'd be dedicated to you exclusively. What happens if we don't get along with our assigned team member? We'll make it right. If things aren't working out, we'll just make it right by bringing somebody else on, providing training. Obviously, we'll try to talk to both sides and to see what's going on. We've literally never had that happen, but if it does, we'll make it right. All right, what is the typical education level and experience of your team? I couldn't care less about like college education level. It's actually very high, but I don't care about that. I care about their experience and what they've done and how well they know their level or their area of expertise. So that's more what we vet for. We're looking for longevity, loyalty, expertise, experience, things like that versus college. But incidentally, most of them have degrees, and a lot of them have advanced degrees. How do you handle team member turnover to ensure continuity of service? I think I've mentioned this before in another question, but if we have turnover, we do whatever it takes to make it right. In almost every case, if that's going to happen, we have advanced warning. We would bring in another team member and train them on your account to be able to take over. Do your team members speak native English, level English? The answer is yes, they do. That's very important as part of what we vet for. And then how technically proficient are your team members? It depends on your needs. Some are more technically proficient than others, and we match them based on our client. So it really just depends on what your technical needs are, and we would match accordingly. Can they handle programming related questions from our customers? Yes. If that's necessary, yes. A lot of our SaaS based team members are quite technical. So think like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, even Shopify's Liquid Code, etc. They're using AI builders, and they just have a lot of experience in that world. Okay, differentiation and unique value. What makes xFusion different from traditional VAs or outsourced support? Our model is different because we're fully dedicated. We don't have like per response based support. We pay our team very well and expect a lot from them. And they are able to work one job and have a very good wage. And that creates longevity. So our attrition is super low and our loyalty is very, very high with our clients. And our model specifically is different because of my background and expertise in SaaS, understanding SaaS founders because I am one, and then training our team, including account managers, on exactly how to operate in a SaaS context and with AI tooling for maximum leverage. Why shouldn't I just hire my own support team directly? Yeah, that's a good question. And for some people, it's honestly best. I've made that recommendation to people I've spoken to. It depends on the context. It depends on how involved you want to be in oversight and management, or if you want that to be handled by us. It depends on if you want to use our experience and leverage our expertise in building out these systems and processes. And if you're interested in selling your business, it's a lot more valuable to have an outsourced team versus just doing that internally because of the management layer, et cetera. So it really is a personal preference. In some cases, it's honestly better to hire directly. It just really comes down to what you prefer and what your end goals are. That's something that we can certainly talk about, and I have no problem telling you if I think it's better for you to hire directly. Certainly something I've done several times. How are you different from customer service outsourcing companies? I feel like I answered that in the previous question. Yeah, I feel like I answered that well, so just refer to the previous question. What sets you apart from chatbot or AI solutions I could implement myself? In that context, like you could certainly implement those solutions and stretch yourself a little bit further or stretch your output a little bit further. The key is that we manage those solutions, not just AI chat, but multiple different AI products and orchestrate all of those together. So we do a lot more than just simply chatbots. And even chatbots need constant training and refinement to make them better and better, to increase the percentage of resolutions. And that's something that we offer as well, is to further train them, provide more context for them to continuously improve them. Why is your pricing higher or lower than other solutions I've researched? We are mid to higher priced because we pay our team well, treat them well, and we feel like that the value is there because of our low attrition and high loyalty. But that's exactly why. There's no question that you can find lower cost providers. Many of them treat their team poorly, pay them very poorly, and have very high attrition. And I generally find it's not worth it. But by all means, it's you can find a more affordable rate doing it that way. So we just have a different position in the market on purpose. All right, implementation and integration. How long does it take to get started with xFusion? So I generally set the expectation of 3 weeks from the time that we make our agreement and get started. It can be shorter or slightly longer if we need someone super technical, but generally speaking, 3 weeks. Onboarding process. So you'll work with your account manager. So you'll go through the sync or asynchronous sales process with me or somebody from my team. And then the onboarding process, you'll work with your account manager who will have a conversation with you and has really good documentation to kind of explain how that works. But basically, we would ask you to provide that initial training to the team member. We come having the basic foundation of SaaS context, but like your specific product training, we would ask you to provide that to the team member and to some extent the account manager, so they become familiar with it. And then they'll start working in the inbox. Depending on your comfort level, they can start with drafting that you approve and build trust over time. And then all of the different stuff that I read in section 6 is what we start implementing over time. So it's kind of a crawl, walk, run approach. All right, how will you learn about our product and business? I think I mentioned that in the previous section. We would ask you, so first of all, once we get access to the inbox, we will study historical tickets. We'll study and experiment with your product. So we will do as much learning as on our own. And then we ask you to provide this specific product context based on your experience. What systems and tools do you integrate with? We integrate with just about any tool that you can imagine. So we're agnostic as to the help desk, but we've used almost all of them and have familiarity with tons of different SaaS related systems and processes. So whatever you're comfortable with is something that we can use. And if you need recommendations, we can certainly make recommendations. We don't have like strategic partnerships with software companies or have any skin in the game trying to get referrals or anything. So we're happy to share with you what we'd like to use. Do you work with our existing support software or bring your own? I've already answered that. We work with yours and we can make recommendations. How will you handle our existing knowledge base? So we can create or optimize or both your knowledge base. So if it already exists, we can make it more extensive and add to it over time. If it doesn't exist, we can create it. How do you implement? And by the way, knowledge base is internal and external. So this is a knowledge base for team members and a knowledge base for your clients to self-serve as well, your users. How do you implement the AI portion of your services? It's a crawl, walk, run approach where we will steadily implement different things based on what your needs are. The account manager leads that process of integration. We typically start in the support context and then we'll sort of build out from there into other contexts. But a lot of this depends on your priorities and needs. As I mentioned in an earlier part of the video, having you reflect on like, what is the highest and best use of your time? What are you doing that's not the highest and best use of your time? And we can chunk away at those things based on the largest stealers of your time. I think that's a good way to go about it. Do I need to provide training materials for your team? Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you'll provide that initial training. We come with a foundation of expertise in SaaS. We will explore your product, explore historical tickets, but we do ask you to provide some initial training to the account manager, and the team member. Will you create new processes or adapt to our existing ones? Both. So we'll adapt to what's existing and we'll also create new. We want to help you button up the business so it has maximum enterprise value and is just maximally easy to run, which of course increases enterprise value. So both. How much of my time will be required during onboarding? It varies based on how hands-on you want to be and your product. I would say in most cases it's something like 10 to 15 hours a week initially. One way I like to phrase it is, look, it's going to be one step back to take two big steps forward. And I think that's important for you to know, but I would argue that it's certainly very worth it over the longer haul. But there's a lot of variables here and we can certainly have that conversation. Performance and quality. How do you measure success in performance? So we have baseline KPIs that we set up. The account manager is going to be managing all that. We can work with you on establishing specific KPIs if there's more than our baseline KPIs. But it's the account manager's responsibility to make sure that we're performing well. How do you ensure quality and consistency? So same answer here. The account manager is going to be closely monitoring the team member to make sure that they're performing well. And we hire high agency people on purpose. Like our account managers, by and large, have a very simple job because we hire really, really excellent people. And we don't babysit. We set very high expectations of them. So that's a big part of it as well. What happens if we're not satisfied with the service? Yeah, I mean, we would like to do anything possible to make the service work for you and mitigate whatever issues that you have. We have a vested interest in aligned incentives and playing long-term games. If it's irreparable for whatever reason, then you can let us know and we have a 30-day out. You're not under any sort of long-term contract and we can part ways. So, but certainly in every case, we like to try to work on that. By the way, and if you just say, like, I'm done, I want to leave, we're not going to haggle you or be like, no, you have to talk to us before you can have a 30-day. None of that crap. Yeah. So do you offer any type of guarantee? Yes, we do. We have a 30-day guarantee where basically we would work together for the first month. We'd have a conversation at the end of that month. If you're not pleased, you can walk away without paying us anything at all. If you're pleased and want to continue, then we would ask for payment for that month that we had just worked, plus monthly thereafter. How do you handle escalations when your team can't resolve an issue? So we would escalate to you or your engineer, set up a ticket on Jira, and then we handle all the communication with the client. So we would try to replicate the issue, make a video or screenshots or whatever, create the ticket in Jira or whatever platform you use, and then monitor the process. So we own the relationship with the customer and make sure that we're staying in touch with them, staying in touch with the engineer, and tracking progress. How quickly do you typically respond to support requests? As quickly as the SLA dictates. It depends on your priorities. We typically like to set the expectation of 1 hour or less for an email ticket during working hours, and 5 minutes or less on chat, 3 minutes or less on chat. But we have different SLAs with different clients because they have different priorities. So this is basically something that we would talk about and establish with you directly. Okay, communication and management. Who will be our main point of contact? So primarily your account manager. We have an amazing leadership team, including our COO, Joan, who's in the Philippines, and Velvi, our CEO, here in the US. But your primary contact will be your account manager. And I'm always just a message away. So we'll be bridged on Slack, and I'm always available as well. So don't think you can't reach out to me also. But your primary initial point of contact will be your team, your account manager. How will we communicate with our team? So that'll be via Slack. Everybody's on Slack. So that would be the primary way that you would communicate with them. Obviously, you can invite them on to calls, meetings, Zoom, whatever. If you have a team meeting, I encourage you to invite them to be involved. I think that makes a lot of sense in many contexts, so I would encourage you to do that. How often will we have check-in meetings? So we have what's called an MBR, monthly business review, where our account managers will check in with you, have a call once a month to see how things are tracking and just to give updates. If that's too frequently for you, we can do every quarter, whatever works for you. But the point is we want to stay on top of that and have regular check-ins. Will we get regular reports on performance and metrics? Yes, via the MBRs, and also we'll have a dashboard for customer support stuff. How do you handle feedback and improvement suggestions? So we can keep a separate log of customer feedback and improvement suggestions and categorize those, organize those for you. The whole point is we're wanting to help you keep your ear to the ground in a way that's more scalable. So the way we actually execute on that is something we can talk about that, but that's the idea, is we want to make sure we're helping you keep your ear to the ground. What role do I need to play in ongoing management? Very, very little. The account managers are tasked with ongoing management, so you should have to play very little of a role. How much access and visibility will I have into daily operations? As much or as little as you want. I think that's the easiest way to answer that. It depends on your preferences. Pricing and contracts. What is your pricing structure? So we have an all-in price that is a once monthly price. It includes everything we do. We don't have piecemeal or charge separate amounts for anything. Everything I described in section 6 of this video is what's included. I'm not sharing the price right here just because I don't know if that will change by the time you actually are seeing this, but we certainly will make it easy for you to discover that if you reach out to us. But we have very simple pricing. There's no complexity involved in that. Do you charge per agent, per ticket, or a flat monthly fee? It's a flat monthly fee. Are there different service tiers available? No, it's just one service tier. What's included in the base price and what costs extra? Everything's included in the base price and nothing costs extra. What length of contract do you require? 1 month. So just a 1 month notice period. That's it. Is there a minimum commitment period? No, my encouragement to you is to give us 90 days. I think that's a good amount of time to get settled in, but the answer is no, there's not a minimum commitment period. Like I said earlier, if you wanted to walk at the end of 30 days, you could do so without even paying us for the first 30 days. Do you offer a trial period? Just the 30 days we could look at that as a trial. It's not free. If you want to continue and you're pleased with the way things are going, then you would pay us for that first month. If you're not pleased, which has never happened, but if you're not pleased, then you can walk at the end of that 30 days and not pay us for the first 30 days. What happens if we need to scale up or down? We'll accommodate you. That's not a problem. Are there any setup or onboarding fees? No, no other fees at all. Just our monthly fee. Everything is included in. No deposit. As I mentioned earlier, that's very rare in our space. We don't have any extra fees. And what is your cancellation policy? It's just 30 days. Give us a 30-day heads up so we can properly offboard the team member, and that's it. Scaling and growth. Can you scale with us as we grow? Yes, absolutely. We have clients that I think 12 to 15 agents is our largest, and one agent, full-time agent, is our minimum. What happens if our needs change over time? We'll accommodate you. Whatever your needs are and however they change, we will be flexible and accommodate you, and we've done that for years. How do you adapt to our evolving product features? We will continuously learn. So we'll be kept up to date on any sort of product changes. Derek from Savic is a great example of keeping his agent, Steven, up to date on all the changes, which there are frequent changes, and we just keep up with them. What's the process for expanding the scope of work? We would just have a conversation, or you would have a conversation with your account manager and let him or her know what you want worked on, and we take care of it. How quickly can you scale up if we need more support? Generally, we can have somebody onboarded, somebody ready to start, I should say, 2 to 3 weeks. And then how long they take to train really depends on your product. Typically just a couple weeks or so. All right. Technical questions about AI integration. What AI technologies? Uh-oh. Sorry about that. That's the whole one take thing. And I can't seem to move this over because I have my Loom video covering it, but we'll just keep going. So what AI technologies do you use? So we use a huge variety of technology. So obviously ChatGPT in Claude via the API or otherwise. We use customer support related tools, operational AI tools, success tools, etc. So a lot. We basically would implement based on your specific needs. How do you train AI in our specific product or business? So we would get context from you. If we're building a custom GPT on ChatGPT or Claude, we'd get context for you and help you build out this. And we also have like baseline documentation templates that we use as well. All right, how do you maintain the balance between AI and human support? So like I said earlier, we never want to apply humans to an inefficient system. We want to make it as efficient as possible. And the humans, think of them as the AI or the human generalist agents running specialist AI agents. And they do what humans do best. And AI does what AI does best. And we do our best to orchestrate that. What level of customization can we expect from our AI implementation? Extensive customization. I mean, that's our focus, whether it's customer support, chatbots, or custom GPTs, etc. But extensive customization. I feel like that's the kind of the point of AI. What kind of data do you need from us to make AI implementation effective? Basically, foundational contextual documentation for your business or what we're trying to achieve, like your voice on social, your background, history, etc. Things that would be relevant to building out a custom GPT. How frequently is AI retrained or updated? As frequently as necessary. I think that's just the simplest way to answer that. Who owns the AI model trained on our data? You do. We do not own anything that we create on your behalf. You own it completely. All right. What type of SaaS businesses do you work with? Do you work best with? Both. So we do work with bootstrapped founders, which is the larger percentage, and funded founders, all the way up to multi-million-dollar funding rounds, super quickly growing SaaS businesses. So both. Is there a minimum company size or support volume to work with? No, just one full-time team member, and they could do maybe 30% support work and 70% other work, including marketing, back office, customer success, etc. But the minimum engagement is one full-time team member. Are there any industries or types of products you don't support? In the realm of SaaS, no. Like our specialty is SaaS, but we work with technical and less technical, SaaS products, etc. So, no. How do you determine if we're a good fit for each other? Yeah, that would either be via an asynchronous conversation or a synchronous, where you would share information with me about your product and what it does, etc. And then we could also have a conversation just to assess fit. I think after watching the video here, you'll have a pretty good idea for the proper fit or not. Okay, if you got to the end of this, I thank you. First of all, it's a very long video. I encourage you to submit any questions that you have to me asynchronously, or if you want to have a synchronous conversation, we can certainly set that up as well. Really appreciate your time. I appreciate the opportunity to potentially partner together. Super excited about that possibility and looking forward to hearing from you. Cheers.